They said the forest was alive. But no one ever said it was hungry. In the village of Yumuokoro, children were taught one rule before they could even speak properly. Never go beyond the last palm tree. Beyond it, the forest remembers your name. At night, the wind that came from the forbidden forest never sounded normal. It didn't just blow, it whispered. Sometimes it called names. Sometimes it laughed like someone choking on secrets. Elders said the forest belonged to ancient spirits older than the first drum, and at the center of it stood something no one dared describe fully. The spirit tree. Some said it was made of bone. Some said it had eyes. Some said it moved closer every year. But one thing was certain, anyone who entered the forest never came back the same, if they came back at all. Then one day, someone finally broke the rule. His name was Kelechi, 17 years old, restless, curious, the type of boy elders always shook their heads at and said, "This one will test the gods before his time." Kelechi didn't believe in stories. Not ghosts, not spirits, not even warnings. The forest is just trees, he would say, and fear is just something adults use to control children. That statement alone made the elders avoid his eyes. But what pushed him closer to disaster was not arrogance alone. It was his mother's sickness. No healer in the village could cure her. No herb worked. No prayer changed anything. Only one name was whispered quietly in corners. The spirit tree gives answers, but it never gives them free. So one night, under a moon that looked cracked in the sky, Kelechi crossed the forbidden line. And the forest did not stay silent. It welcomed him. The moment Kelechi stepped in, the air changed. The temperature dropped like a curse falling into place. The trees were too still, no wind, no insects, no sound of life. It was like entering a place that was waiting for him specifically. He turned back. The village was already gone. Only trees. Endless trees. Then he heard it. A whisper behind him. Too late. He spun around, nothing there. He walked forward again. This time, the ground beneath him shifted slightly, like it was adjusting itself. Every few steps, he noticed something terrifying. The path was not straight. It was rearranging itself. Trees that were behind him appeared in front of him. Broken branches reattached themselves. Shadows moved even when nothing else did. And then he saw markings carved into a tree trunk. "Turn back while you still remember yourself." Kelechi laughed nervously. "Stories," he muttered, but even his voice sounded unfamiliar in that place. Then the forest responded. A sound like 1,000 people whispering at once. He does not remember, yet. After what felt like hours, or maybe days, he reached it. The spirit tree. It was larger than anything human imagination should allow. Its roots were like buried serpents, twisting into darkness. Its bark looked like faces trapped inside wood, mouths slightly open, as if still screaming silently. And then, the tree blinked. Kelechi froze, because the tree had eyes inside the bark. Slowly, the voice came, not from the air, not from the ground, but inside his head. "You came for life, but life has a price." Kelechi swallowed hard. "My mother is dying. I need help." A long silence followed. Then the tree laughed. Not loudly, not suddenly, but like a truth that had been waiting too long to be spoken. "Every child comes here for love. Every child leaves less than they came." The roots began to move. Something beneath the soil was waking up. And then the tree asked a question no one was prepared for. "Which memory will you trade?" Kelechi frowned. "What do you mean?" The forest answered for it. And suddenly, he saw visions. His childhood, his mother singing, his first steps, his father's face, one he had almost forgotten. One by one, the memories began to fade in his mind as if someone was erasing him gently. And the spirit tree whispered, "Nothing is free. Not even love." Kelechi screamed, stepping back, but the forest stepped with him. He tried to run, but every direction led back to the tree. Then something happened. A voice behind him. "Human, don't listen to it." He turned sharply. An old woman stood there, covered in ash, eyes glowing faintly. Kelechi froze. "Who are you?" She smiled sadly. "Someone who made your mistake." She pointed at the spirit tree. "That thing doesn't heal. It feeds." She explained the truth the village never told. The spirit tree was not a healer. It was a collector of lives and memories. Every person who came for a miracle left something behind. Memories, years, identity, until they returned to the village empty, not even knowing their own name. The healed people of Yumuokoro were not healed at all. They were replaced versions of themselves, soulless, obedient, and forgetful. Kelechi stepped back in horror. "So my mother," the woman nodded. "She may come back, but she will not be your mother anymore." The forest trembled. The spirit tree had heard everything, and it was angry. The ground split open. Roots shot out like spears. The spirit tree's voice turned sharp, distorted, furious. "You were offered mercy. Now you will become part of me." The forest began collapsing inward, as if reality itself was folding. The old woman grabbed Kelechi's hand. "If you want to leave, you must give it something it never expects." Kelechi shouted over the chaos. "What does it want?" She whispered. "A truth it cannot swallow." They ran. Behind them, the tree grew taller, darker, angrier. Kelechi suddenly stopped. He understood, and he shouted into the forest, "You are not a god. You are just a trap built on fear." Everything froze. Silence. Even the wind stopped. For the first time, the spirit tree hesitated. Then it screamed. The forest collapsed in on itself. Light exploded through the darkness. Kelechi woke up at the edge of the village. Alive. But something was wrong. He could not remember his mother's face clearly anymore, or his childhood, or why he had gone into the forest. Only one thing remained sharp in his mind: never go beyond the last palm tree. The village celebrated when his mother returned days later. She was healthy, smiling, cooking, but when Kelechi looked into her eyes, she did not recognize him, not even a little. And in the distance, far beyond the forest line, a single tree stood where none had been before, watching, waiting, hungry again.